group that plotted to kidnap Whitmer discussed kidnapping Virginia Governor Northam too. If Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer can find any solace among the recently revealed plans of a group of men who had plans to kidnap her, it's that she wasn't alone. The same group had also discussed taking Virginia Governor Ralph Northam. Both are Democrats. The additional plot was alleged during a Grand Rapids court hearing over the alleged plan to abduct Whitmer. As a former Army doctor, Northam said he'd been threatened by foreign enemies before but not his own commander-in-chief. These threats and his rhetoric is not coming from another country, he said during a Richmond afternoon news briefing. It's coming from Washington. And that I regret, and it needs to stop. The White House threw the criticism right back at Northam and Whitmer. President Trump has continually condemned white supremacists and all forms of hate. Governor Whitmer, and now Governor Northam, are sowing division by making these outlandish allegations, said White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany in a statement. America stands united against hate and in support of our federal law enforcement who stopped this plot. During the hearing discussing the charges that were filed last week against members of a militia that are accused of the plot against Whitmer, FBI Special Agent Richard Trask explained that some of the suspects met in Dublin, Ohio, to discuss the plots against Whitmer. This is where Northam was suggested as a potential target as well. At this meeting, they discussed possible targets, taking a sitting governor, specifically issues with the governors of Michigan and Virginia, based upon the lockdown orders, Trask said at the hearing. At this time, no one has been charged with the plans for Northam. Yet, similar to Whitmer, he was the target of criticism from conservatives who were angry at the orders passed down by the governors during the pandemic. Trump had heavily criticized both of them, demanding on Twitter that Michigan and Virginia be liberated. Ina Yarmosky, Northam's spokeswoman, said the FBI alerted key members of the governor's security team throughout the course of their investigation, but the governor and other members of his staff weren't told so that a tight control could be kept on the matter. At no time was the governor or his family in imminent danger, she added, noting that extra security measures have been in place for Governor Northam and his family for quite some time, and they will remain. The hearing's purpose was, in part, to determine whether the men charged in the plot of Whitmer could be released on bond. 5 of the defendants were led into the courtroom in handcuffs at the beginning of the hearing. Only Fox wasn't wearing a face mask. Barry G. Croft Jr., a 6th defendant, attended a Delaware hearing. He was arrested last week and is waiting to be transferred to Michigan. There have also been 7 others who were charged with supporting terrorist acts. U.S. Magistrate Judge Sally Behrens ruled that suspect Caleb Franks couldn't be released because he was a potential danger to the community. Bail for Daniel Harris, a Marine veteran, was denied as well, as she feels he could try to flee or hurt someone. While this plot appears to be disrupted, it's not clear that this movement has ended, said Behrens. Defense attorneys suggested earlier their clients may be prone to big talk but weren't leaders of the plot and may not have known about critical elements of the plans for Whitmer. Ty Garbin's attorney, Gary Springstead, referred to it as a serious case but did add that there's been lots of cases where serious allegations don't bear out in the proofs in court, in particular citing a 2010 case against another self-styled militia group. Charges of sedition were thrown out by the Justice Department.